just heard EI premiums mentioned.
So over the last number of weeks in Parliament, we've been having what I think is kind of a silly debate
These contributions do not go into general government revenue.
about whether or not employment insurance premiums are in fact a tax. If the government makes you pay it, it shows up on your paycheck every 2 weeks, and you have no choice but to pay it, it's a tax. And that's why small businesses and Canadians across this country are angry right now that at a time when we're facing serious economic headwinds, the government has decided to move forward with an employment insurance premium increase. Every year, every employee in Canada has to pay over $900 into the employment insurance system. Every business that decides to hire an employee has to pay 1.4 times that amount, over $1,300 for every single employee that they have. So if you're a small business and say you got 15 people working for you and they all make over $60,000 a year, you have to pay the government $20,000 a year. Just last week, the finance minister said that she's not going to sugarcoat it anymore.
Our economy will slow. Business will no longer be booming. Our unemployment rate will no longer be at its record low.
When we know things are about to get really, really tough, why would the government of Canada think it's a good idea to increase payroll taxes for employees and employers alike? Let's take a closer look at employment insurance in Canada. We've had Social Security, employment insurance, unemployment insurance in some form or another since the 1940s. And then in the 1970s, there was a massive expansion of the employment insurance system in Canada. In the 1990s, the Government of Canada made a number of big changes. They stopped making official contributions into the employment insurance system. The Government of Canada decided to withdraw money out of the pot paid for by employers and employees for employment insurance to pay for other things the Government of Canada wanted to do. So today, when the finance minister or the prime minister say that employment insurance is not a tax, it's simply false. Employment insurance has been funding other things the government has decided to do for decades. Between 1996 and 2010, over $50 billion was taken from employment insurance into the General Revenue Fund of the Government of Canada. So that brings us back to January 1st, 2023. As of January 1st, employees are going to have to pay $1.63 for every $100 they earn. And an employer with an employee making over $60,000 will have to contribute approximately $1,400 for every person they decide to hire on an annual basis. With these added costs, employers are going to have to look really, really carefully about what type of benefits that they're going to be able to offer their employees. They're going to have to look very carefully about how many people or new people they may be able to hire. Let's get this straight. Employment insurance contributions are a tax. If a contribution is mandatory and you have no choice whether to pay it, it is a tax. And I've come to the conclusion that the costly Liberal NDP coalition just doesn't get it. Tax increases hurt people, and they hurt businesses that just want to hire people and make a good living and be honest citizens. I don't know why that's so hard for Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh to actually understand. I think all Canadians can agree that we're lucky to have an employment insurance system in Canada. When you're at one of your lowest points, when you lose a job for no fault of your own, you're able to get a salary because you paid into a program. Small business owners, employers, they're happy to pay EI contributions. But why at this moment, why is the government forcing Canadians to pay more in taxes? Right now, the Conservatives have been calling on the Government of Canada, the costly Liberal NDP coalition, to freeze payroll taxes for Canadians. We don't need to pay more taxes right now. We need to give people a break and look very, very closely at the cost of living challenges that's affecting everyone. At the end of the day, this is another cost of living increase that employers and employees are going to be forced to pay to the Government of Canada. And that's not a good thing when people are struggling just to get by. I want to hear from you. What are your comments on employment insurance in Canada? Leave a comment below. As always, thanks for watching.